up, y'all? It's John Master Lee, and we're continuing on here with the Ubisoft onslaught of open world games. When did Ubisoft become the key to open world games? Oh my goodness. This whole presentation of theirs is basically just flaunting how they can build the biggest and most complex worlds ever. I actually think this year they may have a damn good shot at turning around an image that they've developed, and not a positive image, an image of basically creating open world experiences that are just filled with a lot of mundane quests, running around, doing a lot of nothing, just for the sake of building something of sheer size. In every one of their gameplay series, from Assassin's Creed to Watch Dogs to Far Cry, are all starting to feel the same because the mechanics are starting to overlap. But I have to say, this year, each of these games that they're showcasing, there's something really uniquely different about each one, and I'm really loving it. Just checked out Watch Dogs. Let's check out Assassin's Creed right now. Loved the Valhalla cinematic trailer, so I want to see the gameplay. I want to see what they're doing here that's different. In particular, since I just played through a couple Assassin's Creed games because I was so excited watching the Valhalla trailer, I jumped back in and started playing Origins, and I got my fill. Like, I beat the game, I did most of the quests, and reached the point where I was like, I'm just tired of doing the same old. So at this point, I'm really hoping Valhalla is different because they got me so excited. I jumped the gun and played an older version of, Assassin's Creed. So let's check this out, y'all. And away we go.
Coming up now.
All right. We know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April.
Damn straight.
And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find
cool
new
transition
lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game.
I'm pretty sure this is still myth. It's a video game and interpretation, but hey,
that the Vikings did
to
really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time. And then leaving Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available.
as if there's less politics in England and as if there's more resources in England.
And other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
The fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings. We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
All right, buddy. Let's see what you got.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking. Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
Did they really sail in ships that small all across the sea?
A land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle. Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities.
Interesting.
The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with the Viking harpoon.
Ooh.
Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks.
Okay,
Customize your
combat's
fighting
cool
style
and all,
as
but
you see fit, and
this
become
doesn't
a
feel like an
legendary
Assassin's Creed
Viking
game
warrior.
anymore.
All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields.
That's interesting.
Not all situations call
All
for
right,
violence.
stealth.
In
This is what the
game,
Assassin's Creed games are
Vikings
about,
find a
man.
way
Come
to
on.
adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes, an unseen hunter among the people. From capital cities and villages to the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp.
Wait a
You
minute,
must feed
is that
off the land
all
if you hope
about
to endure.
stealth?
Hunt and forage to replenish your health and fortify your equipment.
It's a big ass
Search pagan
wolf.
temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement. The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Ravens, show no mercy!
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
It is a pretty cool idea to be able to lead your own army.
Today we fight for for your land. And tomorrow, we rebuild.
For Istanbul.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise.
Thank you, man.
With unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Mortal Kombat! All right. Digesting right now. This just doesn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game anymore. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. The game looks amazing. The mechanics that they're building around here seems like a lot of fun, right? I love the idea there's almost like 2 levels of macro gaming that's going on here. One is you building your settlement and then some sort of territorial sort of control that you eventually have to build out. Although a past Assassin's Creed game has somewhat similar elements like that. You know, we've seen boat combat done with Black Flag, and the assassin stuff has been, well, slowly kind of just disappearing like an assassin. Yeah, it just seems much more about, combat these days. Maybe the first kill where you're trying to sneak in is an assassination, but everything after that is you taking on multiple enemies at once, which is a little bit too bad because it's kind of moving gameplay more towards action. And when you take a look at Ubisoft's 3 open world games, which is Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Watch Dogs, all of them are much more rooted in action gameplay now. I mean, maybe you could argue that Watch Dogs has some stealth components to it because of the hacking, but for the most part, you can go in guns a-blazing. And so, yeah, that's what Valhalla is coming across like right now. Now, that being said, I think with Viking culture, it lends itself really well towards this kind of combat, and it looks gruesome, and I love that. Unadulterated, hardcore battles, love it. And let me know if you're having some of the same, I want to say it's concerns, but, maybe it's just I'm kind of missing open world game where stealth is still, the core element of what the game is about. It's not like we're going to be getting a Metal Gear Solid game anytime soon. So Assassin's Creed kind of had its own area. Like it was King of the Hill, the rooster that roasted I'm just making stuff up at this point. It had its own sort of unique take to the open world experience. And now it feels a lot more moving more towards just grab a little bit of everything, open world combat, just mass exploring type of thing. So give me your take. Love to hear it, y'all. I'll peace out.